Hello guys, welcome to my tutorial channel. Today we are going to continue from where we left off. As you remember our previous tutorial, we went through Laravel framework setup. So today we are going to first look at the Laravel application structure, and I'm not going to dwell so much on all these folders and what they contain, but I'm going to quickly touch on the folders that you're going to use, or specifically what goes where when you are developing the application. And before I start on that, I want to say Laravel framework uses something called MVC, design pattern. And MVC stands for model view controller. And on those three things, the controller it's used to handle user requests. For example, if a user needs to view a post, or a user needs to comment a post, a controller actually handles those user requests respectively by using the model. Now that's the M in the MVC, and the model actually queries the data from the database, and again now returns the same to the controller, and the controller again now renders that data to the user through the view. Now the V in the MVC. So basically that's it, because the views actually are the pages or the blades as they are called in Laravel. So you're going to see how all those communicates in a while. So let's first look at the app folder in the Laravel framework. And this one will actually use the controller subfolder here, and this is where all our controller files will be stored. So every controller that we'll create will be stored on this subfolder. We'll also have the database, and this is where we'll have the migrations. And actually migrations, it's used to simply create the tables in the database. Let's say you have an application and you want to connect it to the database, and you need to store, maybe let's say posts. You need the user authentication, so you need a table like users table. And migration, you have to create those fields, the table name and the fields themselves, and then you migrate, which means when you migrate through the application, it's going to create those tables automatically in your database, as long as you've connected the application to the database that you want to use. And if you want to connect the database, which you'll see later on how to connect, you go to the env file and you'll find the database connection section. And this is where you connect your database. And when you do that and you create a migration and then you migrate, I'm also going to show you how you migrate. It's going to automatically create the tables in your database. We'll also have the public folder, and this is where all the assets of your application will be. And this means the CSS files, the JavaScript file, and the images also. You'll also have the resources, and in this resources folder, this is where all the blades will be in, or as we call it, the views or the pages as you know them. So this is where they're going to be stored on the resources folder in a subfolder called views. Also the routes, this is where all the route definition will be in. So without much ado, let's navigate to the views. When you look at we look at the welcome blade. So I did a little bit change on this welcome view. I recreated it from the default one that comes with the Laravel as soon as we install the Laravel. So let's see how it looks like. So actually this is how it looks like. I did a header page, a subheader, and also two links for about us and contact us. And this one will help us to see how we link different pages. So let's say we want to have a section of our another page for about and another page for contact us. So what you're going to do, we navigate to the views folder and then we create a blade or a page as you know it. So you're going to have one called about, and the extension for this will be blade.php. That's the extension for the blades in Laravel. We're also going to have a contact us, so you're going to call it contact.blade.php, and you are going to just create a basic HTML. So I'm going to call this contact. Also you're going to have a little text here. We say this is contact page. I'm going to do an inline styling to push that text to the center. I'm also going to create about us page, so we're going to call it about. We're going to say this is about page, as we're going to push that text to the center style, and we do text align. Center. So we have those two files. So let's say we want to connect those two files to the about us and contact us link in the welcome page. In the Laravel blades, to connect those two, you use double curly braces, and these double curly braces we're going to use it a lot. So let's say we have a control line, we are returning a response from the database to a view or to a blade. To display it on the blade, we actually use the double curly braces, which actually is a representation of an echo statement of a raw PHP. So we'll come to see how that works at a later time. So to link this one, we have to have a curly braces, double curly braces, and then we have to define a route. We have to name the route. And we are going to name it about. So when you name a route, you'll now have to come and define it in the route folder, the web. So we're just going to create a route. Then you see get. And the first parameter here, it's the address name, the URL. Let's say you want your about us page to appear as about us page, for example. So this about us page here, this is what you write here. in the first parameters, you're going to write it about us page. The next parameter, you're going to write the controller that it's going to redirect us to that specific view or to that specific page. So let's say we will use welcome controller, for example, and the method is going to redirect us there. We call it something like about. I'm going to show you how we are going to connect that one. Now after that, you are going to add a name there, and this name holds the route name that you defined in the hyperlink. Yeah, so this about us goes to this name. So now the only thing remaining, we'll need to connect this controller, and because we don't have this controller, we are going to create it. So this is how we create controllers in Laravel. PHP @sun make controller, and then you write the controller name of your choice, but you need to make sure that the last name, it's controller. The last name of your controller should be the name controller. So you hit enter, and it will show you that the controller is created successfully. So if you go to the controller folder in the app folder, you'll see we have a welcome controller, and now we'll have to create a method which will actually do the redirect for us to the about view. To do public function about, and now we'll have to do a return view, which means it's going to redirect to that specific view. So the view means it's going to check the view folder or the view subfolder in the resources folder. So in this views folder, it's going to check if there's a file named what you're going to write here. So you're going to redirect it to about. You don't have to write the extensions, the blade.php, this is enough. So when you write that way, it's going to check when you click on this about link, it's going to look for, is there a named route about, which means in this route, do we have a name called route? If it's yes, it's going now to redirect us and see, do we have a welcome controller then? If it's yes, it's going now to check, do we have an about method? Yes, we do have. So if we have an about method, return that view. So if we now do, let me first remove this one, reload. So if you do a mouse over on that about us link, on the bottom left you can see the URL. There's now the about us page, which means that link is working okay, because as you can see we had named that address about us page. So if we click, we're going to be directed to the about us page. Very simple. So that's how you direct. We can also do the other one for contact us. Do the same route. No, so for this one, I'm going to show different ways you can do this. For this one, other than using the route, I'm going to use the URL. use the URL. I'm going to say contact us now. So when you use URL here, what it does, the difference between the route and the URL, the route checks the name. Let's say here the name, the route, it checks for this name. But if you're using the URL, it's going now to check the URL name that you've given here. So for example, for this one, let's create its route definition here. We say get, we put that URL name here, then we say welcome controller, then we have a contact method. We don't even need the named parameter. We just have to stick to that. Now let's go to welcome controller and create this method. So we'll have a public function contact, and then you are going to return a view called contact because we already have that view. Let's see if the redirect will be successful. As you can see, it's working well. So that's another way of doing it. So whichever way you feel it's easier for you, you can do it. So that's how you do the redirect. And actually this one has covered the view and the controller part of the MVC design pattern. Actually that's how the view and the controller actually communicates, the basic way of doing it. So the only thing you've not handled in this tutorial, it's the model part of it, and that I'm going to tackle it in the next tutorial. I'm going to show you how to create a model, how a model actually communicates with the controller, and now and also the controller returning a response from the model to the view. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to take you through a CRUD operation. So you are going to have a database, you are going to create a database, you are going to do the migrations, you are going to create models, you are going to do a CRUD operation. So to be a full tutorial where you learn how to get started with the Laravel fully. So you can create your own website, you can create your own web application at ease. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.